We're here at the Avon Park Depot Museum, and we're going to get on the dining car first, and then we're going to go into the museum and check it out. So if you give me a minute to get up these stairs, we'll get inside and you can check it out with us. Pretty neat. This is like the kitchen area. They do luncheons here, and it's pretty neat.
When we got it, we had to revamp the kitchen so that we could cook in there. So we do luncheons by reservation for 15 to 40 people. We can actually seat 48 in here. We've had murder mysteries in here.
Oh, that's a fun idea.
And so we filled it with and served a 3-course dinner for it. And it was really a fun fundraiser. We're trying to figure out how we can do it again, because the actors who did the first one for us now think it's such a great idea they want to do it and be paid. But we are all volunteers.
Yes, of course.
And so, I mean, when we do the cooking and the, serving and all that, we are all volunteers, and we do it to raise money for the museum. So we can't be paying actors to come in here.
You could maybe get the high school students to do it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, is that we could get, because it's just fun. It's silly. It's not, it's not like Broadway.
Yeah.
And people guess what the outcome is and everything. It's really fun. So, but this car is called the Silver Palm. All the cars on the California Zephyr had a tree name. So this one is the Silver Palm. But recently we redid all the windows. It cost us $20,000 to put all new glass and rubbers. There are 3 different seals that go on it that have to be specifically cut. Actually, we have been really fortunate. The worst thing that's happened has been damage to our plants. We've had a lot of cleanup from branches and stuff, but there are a couple of windows that do leak a little bit. And when they put the seals in and everything, the guy said, when the train is going 80 miles an hour on the track, they don't worry about rain coming in through the windows.
Correct.
But we're just sitting here.
Yeah.
And so a couple of the windows are going to have silicone put around them. But no, we really,
That's wonderful.
yeah, the hurricanes haven't really been a problem, luckily. So.
Good.
All right. You ready?
Thank you.
Very
You're
nice.
welcome.
That's just a picture. What do you think it is? Is it a snowman? It's a church?
And actually, we had a whole bunch of those tapestries that we put over all the pictures for Christmas. We don't know what happened to them. It's a mystery. That box is somewhere. That's the only one we could find that was in with the other decorations. So,
Oh, look, this is what the train looked like when it was in the station.
weird things happen.
That's what the train looked like when the train was coming into the station. You see the people are standing, waiting to go in?
And when they brought this car here, CSX, the rail line, loaned the Historical Society rails like that, and they put a spur down there, and this car arrived by rail from Sanford,
Oh, wow.
Florida. And they backed it up onto the spur, and it's still sitting on rails
Okay.
under the rail
Yeah.
car.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We have a notebook in there that tells, every now and then we'll get somebody who used to work on the railroad who comes to visit, and they like to look through that and see how we
That's called
actually
the
did.
real questions.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, they actually brought it here and backed it up and parked it right there.
Crane.
Right, well, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But I guess it's too heavy and big, so, yep. Well, I can probably turn the lights off and we can go back over. In Illinois, as a sleeper car. And somewhere along the line, it was changed to be a passenger car with benches. But it was used out west as part of the California Zephyr line. And in the 1970s, the folks who were setting up the auto train in Sanford, Florida, went out west, got the car and brought it back and made it into their snack car. These are the original tables that were in the snack car. You can see this yellow and weird colors. Not our choice, but we're working with it. And we had to remodel the kitchen so that we'd be able to cook in here. The people who ran the auto train didn't cook on the train. They just had the food catered like the airlines do. Marriott catered for the auto train, and so they just heated food and served it. They didn't actually prepare any food there. So when we have our luncheons, we prepare all the food in the kitchen there, and we have volunteer cooks and servers, and we do luncheons it's $15 for a 3-course meal. Everyone has to have the same thing. The organizer chooses an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert, and everyone has the same thing. Sometimes that's a bit of a problem for some groups, but if you want to order from a menu, then go to a restaurant and pay $30. But we're giving you a luncheon for $15, and everyone eats the same thing. So, and they're quite popular. And as you can see, we're decorated for Christmas now. We did have a couple of luncheons during the holiday season. We'll be taking this down pretty soon, I have a feeling, but it's kind of pretty right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have some amazing volunteers. We really do. And this is the prettiest that I've ever seen the dining car, really. Last year we didn't have lights that went all the way around. They just kind of crisscrossed, and they did a super job this year with the decorations. So.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, we can go over and see. I'm going to unplug the lights. I don't want to leave those on.
Okay, I'm just going to do a walkthrough and get pictures and stuff if you don't mind.
Okay, no, that's fine.
And then we'll come right in.
Okay, are you finished here?
I'm going to come down and hit the walls.
Oh, okay.
Just the pictures and stuff. And then
Yeah, these are, they do tell a story. This depot building over here, the next one you're going to see, was across the street from here.
Oh, really?
There were 2 rail lines that went through here. The tracks
Wow.
are still over there. They're used for maintenance.
I wondered why the tracks were still there.
Yeah. Every now and then, maintenance vehicles will come down there. And as you can see out the windows, there are railroad ties all along here. They're going to start work this month, I've been told.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. All right. Oh, I see them.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be fascinating. I hope that there are people who come for luncheons when that's going on.
That would be awesome.
I can't really advertise it because I don't know for sure. They
Yeah.
won't tell us exactly when they're going to be here, so
Well, I appreciate you letting me do this.
you're welcome.
So we finished in the dining car, and we're getting ready to go into the museum. I can't wait for you guys to see some of this stuff. It's really cool. I'm just walking up. Mike's waiting for me. So if you want to give me a few minutes, we'll get inside and check things out. Okay, we're going to check out some of the things in here. This is just a really cool place, you guys. All decorated for Christmas.
Yep. And even though this is a train depot, and we do have train memorabilia, this is not actually a train museum. We are a history museum for Avon Park.
Yes.
So let me turn this down just a little bit. This is our film about baseball field. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Avon Park was founded in 1886 by this gentleman, Oliver Crosby. The first thing he did was build a hotel. He built the Hotel Verona, and then he traveled around the country putting ads in newspapers to get people to move here. Because when he came here, it was just trains, not trains, trees and gators. And he thought this would be a nice place for a town. And so he bought up land. And actually the first name of Avon Park was Lake Forest. But then some people came from England, and the landscape reminded them of their home in Stratford-on-Avon. And so they convinced Mr. Crosby to change the name to Avon Park. And this is that couple, the Kings. Mr. King was one of the first mayors of Avon Park, but they were longtime residents here. They moved from England and spent the rest of their life here in Avon Park. The Hotel Verona has burned, but this is a picture of it up here in the top picture. That little bandstand to the left, you can just barely see it in that picture. That bandstand survived, and it's down on the mall. So the bandstand was built in 1888 or something like that, and it's still around. It's been used as a police station. There was a jail down underneath it where they put people they arrested, and they had band concerts there. It's still used today.
Awesome.
This building will be 100 years old next year. And there are two other 100 anniversaries that we'll be celebrating next year. The Hotel Jacaranda the construction began in 1925. And our baseball field was built in 1925. Are you two baseball fans? Oh, gosh. Well, Avon Park has a 100-year history of baseball. And our field was built so that the St. Louis Cardinals could come here in the winter for spring training. And so we've had 23 people leave Avon Park and go on to the majors, either in the minor leagues or major leagues. But our two major stars are Tom Flash Gordon and Hal McRae. And Hal McRae had quite a distinguished career with the Kansas City Royals. And he now lives in Bradenton. That's his picture there. He lives in Bradenton, but Tom Gordon is probably one of the best closers in baseball, and he is back in our area. And so when we build on our addition here to feature the 100-year history of baseball, those two will be featured in there. So we hope to break ground sometime later this month, maybe the 1st of February. There's some kind of issue with permits right now, but we've raised most of the money that we need. It's going to cost about $500,000 to finish it. And people have donated and companies are supporting it, and we're quite excited about it. It's going to be really cool.
Cool.
But here's the anniversary for this year. Well, no, now it's 2025. I'll have to change my little talk. Last year was the 75th anniversary of the discovery of Brown and Serve rolls right here in Avon Park. Have you ever had Brown and Serve rolls? You can buy them pretty much anywhere now. Mm-hmm. But 75 years ago, people in Avon Park would go to the little bake shop, and they wanted something that they could take home and warm up that would be soft and warm with dinner without having to bake bread themselves, which would take 3 or 4 hours. So the baker, he just couldn't come up with anything. He could make cornbread and he could make muffins, but they didn't have any yeast rolls that people could take home and warm up. He was also a volunteer fireman. His name was Joe Greger. He owned a bake shop a couple of blocks down here. And one day, he had just put rolls in the oven to bake. The fire alarm went off, and so he had to go fight the fire. So he turned off his oven, locked the door, fought the fire, came back, and the rolls looked like plaster. They weren't browned at all. They were just, he thought, they're probably not going to be any good. But some people would have thrown them away. But he decided to crank up his oven and bake them for a few more minutes, and they came out perfect. And he thought, oh, this is it. And so he played around with it until he could figure out how long they had to bake the first time, how long they could be packaged on the shelf, and how long you had to bake them when you got them in your home. And he patented the process. And he sold it to General Mills. General Mills are the people who make Cheerios. They bought it for $40,000 75 years ago.
That was a lot of money.
And so that is our claim to fame right here in Avon Park. We don't have a monument to Brown and Serve rolls, but here's our little exhibit right here
Yeah.
that tells you that story.
I love it.
This bread pail in here, have you baked bread? Anyone make bread? Okay. Well, you know how you have to mix it up and knead it and all that? That bread maker right there has a big pastry hook in it. And I actually was given one as a wedding present 50 years ago. I grew up on a dairy farm, and mine was a stainless steel milk bucket that had the hook in it. And you can make 4 loaves of bread in there. You put all the ingredients in, crank it about 120 times, and the hook pulls the dough, the flour and stuff away from the edge of the pan, and the dough forms around the hook. So you don't have to knead it. The bucket does all the work. And well, I mean, you have to crank it, so you're doing the work. But anyway, you put all the ingredients in, crank it, let it rise for about an hour, and then turn it out onto a floured surface, cut it into the 4 pieces, put it in your pan and bake it. And my boys grew up on homemade bread. I'd make a couple of batches every week. And you can still find these on eBay for like $89, an antique. I
Wow.
don't think they make them anymore like that. Now they have the electric ones that I don't even know. I
Yeah,
don't
we
even
got
know how
I got the
those work.
fancy dancy electric one.
Yeah.
And hit the button and let it go for about 5 minutes and
Oh,
turn it out.
well, mine you had to go like this.
Yeah.
But it was really good. So,
Awesome.
you're welcome to wander around, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Where are you folks from?
I'm from Lakeland.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to know where you come from.
So we're just gonna walk through here and check everything out. Unique history. Let me back this out.
This desk was made in
Some awesome artwork in here.
these gentlemen right here, they own the furniture company. And
Never knew that about the
they
Brown and
own
Serve
6
roll,
of
guys.
These made in this design. These 2 are the ones.
Oh, look at all these metal toys.
This was in their construction.
Fire
office
department.
in Avon Park. And somehow it came into the possession
Here we
of
got
the Maxwell family.
the pictures of Tom Flash Gordon.
Did you ever visit Maxwell Groves out here?
Get me down.
If you go all the way to the end of Main
Because I gotta watch you guys.
up the hill,
Make sure I'm getting everything in.
you'll pass the high school on the right, and
Here's
the
the
next left turn will take you up to Maxwell
Avon
Groves.
Park baseball
It's the
town.
last packing house in
And
Huntsville,
here's Hal McRae.
where they actually pick the oranges, and they have the old time equipment, the belts that the oranges come down on, where they sort them and everything. And
This
you can
picture
still
about Boys and
send
Girls
oranges
Club.
around the country.
And Brian.
But they have a
And
little
Hal
place
McRae
where
back
they
there.
sell orange ice cream.
Pretty cool.
But Mrs.
then-
Maxwell was the first director of this museum.
All
And the
kinds of,
ranch-
there's
this was in there.
where we're staying, the Jacaranda.
I'm not sure really.
I'm
how
gonna
they
back
came
you
into
off
possession.
again.
The kids don't really know, but the
Staying at the Jacaranda. We're leaving tomorrow, unfortunately.
Because their grandmother was the first director of the museum. So they could have sold
There's
it.
all kinds of, look at these old flyers for the Jacaranda. This is just cool.
Here, so you're very
I don't
good.
know if you can see that.
Oh, okay.
This, like we said, this started second time being here.
Yeah.
It's all cool stuff.
Isn't it great? I know. I think
This is the dining room.
it's just
Yes.
one of the suites.
2 years ago,
Gotta
I
focus
have
you in
grandchildren
again.
who live over in Valrico,
There we go.
which is near Tampa. And that's what I gave them.
Oh, this is really cool. This is their china back in the
They
day.
came over and spent one night there.
Isn't that cool?
And they still talk about that.
Oh, yes.
And there's a commemorative plate. And
That's the
then
question?
Mr. Klein. I'm just talking.
Oh,
There's Mr. Klein. He's a gentleman that passed away in September 2024.
yeah, these,
And he will be missed. Everybody that works there talks about him very fondly. And we're looking at Atlantic Coastline Railroad picture. Some really cool looking clocks. More metal toys, trains. And all kinds of serving stuff coming in here. And we're going to go into the next room. We're going to work our way around clockwise.
is the Hopewell Elementary School. During the segregation
That's
years,
an
the
office.
black kids had their own school.
Right.
And actually Hal McRae, our baseball star there from the
Tom Flash.
Kansas City
again.
Royals, he didn't go to Avon Park High School. He went to the county black school.
Look at this old
And
cash register, you guys.
We don't have a picture of that one, but I don't even know if that building is still
Gotta keep
around.
focusing you in, I'm sorry. There's a Corona.
Yeah, during the 50s, the Avon Park High School had a circus as part of their PE program.
Awesome.
Yeah, supposedly there are 2 schools in Florida that do that. There's one in Sarasota, and, well, Avon Park doesn't still do it, but they did then. They'd have the circus once a year, and the kids learned all the tricks.
Boy, they were brave.
I know. I know. Look how high up. Look at on the top shelf there. How,
That's high up.
yeah. But I've known a lot of crazy high school kids, so I guess
No, that's true.
they were probably pretty brave.
I'm gonna have to readjust my light for you guys. But this is so cool. What a great history. Alright, pardon the video quality. I want to make sure I get everything in here. Come around here and check this out. Let me redo this. just gonna walk around here, check everything out.
Well, you don't see them that much anymore because of fiber optics and all that.
Look at this chair. It says this chair was used by Lyndon B. Johnson, 37th President of the United States, in his personal UHIN helicopter. Tail number 696637. The helicopter is still assigned to the first and foremost. That's a pretty cool chair. Here are some different uniforms. The American Red Cross, the Marine Corps, Coast Guard, some more uniforms up here.
See how the letters drop down? Isn't that amazing? I just can't imagine how someone invented that.
I'm looking at cement block making machine.
Yeah, can you imagine building?
All kinds of memorabilia.
One block at a time. Yeah, that young boy works at Flywheel Street. He should have to come and see this museum. This exhibit right here belongs to the family of this man. His brother and sister are still alive. Ferris Weekly, when he was 21, flew what turned out to be a suicide mission.
Trying to catch up with the tour, you guys, but there's so much to see here, it's almost impossible. Here are some of the medals.
His mission was successful. They took out the fuel depot.
And patches.
Where they were. But his plane was shot down as they were leaving. And every year, his mom his sister lives here in Avon.
This one says it's the framed medals of the Mack brothers, 1940. Valmer, Vernon, Verlin, Vaughn, and Vincent. Pretty cool. And here is an old time kitchen setup. We're going to come around here.
Every year, the War Department would call Mrs. Turner and say, or Mrs. Weekly, and say, we're still looking. We haven't found it yet. 2 years ago.
I got something down here I want to show you. This is a really cool wood burning stove, cook stove.
So his bones, 3 of his bones, were returned to Avon Park 80 years after the shot. Wow. Isn't that amazing? And they found him because they were able to identify him because his brother and sister had given the DNA. But, I mean, what's amazing to me is that he was 21 years old. Probably, most of them must have been after he died. But this is his family. Of course, he never married, and so he did not have children. But his sister and brother had children. He had nieces and nephews, so he doesn't really have descendants, but he has family who's very proud of him. But it's quite an amazing story. I think it's amazing how the military treats their...
These quilts are awesome.
You know, with
These
the
are signature quilts.
that they're buried in,
And in 1982,
I'm not sure how...
society members and communities designed a quilt. It was made up of signatures with some artwork. Donors paid $1 and signed their name on a signature piece of material. The idea was to have 10 signatures per square. Many Avon Park families took part in the project. Most of the squares were embroidered by museum volunteers, but some families and organizations purchased a square for $10 and designed and embroidered it themselves. In the center is a large square with the names of honorary members of 1980. Although the project was expected to take 3 years with 500 signatures, the quilt was completed the following year with 750 signatures. The first and best fundraiser ever. And this is just awesome. This is a huge, huge, huge quilt.
Do it again if I could.
This is called the linotype machine. And this movie over here tells about it. It's kind of, it's more than halfway through now, but the newspapers, like a big newspaper like the Tampa Tribune would have many of these all in a row because they go
It's
on
in
to
a wash
one
tub.
page at a time. Have you ever seen how it
Kinds of cool
works? They have
stuff.
little metal letters and they make
Look at that old
rows.
fire extinguisher.
It's pretty amazing. That's what this, well, I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, see?
Looks almost like my mom's old
This is Julie.
Singer sewing machine.
I asked the guy one time, is there anybody teaching this? And he said, no, not anymore. They used to do it all around the world, but I said, well, I'd like to start Blanchard University one.
I told Mike this
Pretty good idea.
when we came here a few years ago. I'm going to show you this phone now. Phone. An old city phone. I worked at a hotel. And this is the kind of phone system they had for the hotel. You had one incoming cord and one outgoing cord. And can you imagine having to do this for a city?
That was used in Avon Park right up until 1985.
Yeah.
There were, a guy from Comcast came in here one day and he told me that one of those buildings that's right across from the parking lot at the Jack Arena,
Yeah.
where you're staying, that is the phone company building.
Oh,
Century.
really?
Yeah. And at the time that that's where this switchboard came from.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 100 people who worked in that building to handle calls around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, when that little light would light up, the operator would put her cord in there, plug in there, and then direct the call to wherever the people wanted to go. Now, that building is run by 1 or 2 people because it's all computerized.
Yeah. I believe it.
So one person took the place of 100.
Yeah.
We used to do that.
I lived in Colorado for 5 years and I worked at a hotel called the Breckenridge Inn and Resort. And when I first got there, this is the kind of phone system they had. And after the first year, they upgraded and it was all push buttons.
Oh,
So it would come in and you push the button and then on the keyboard would be the room number and you push the room number to connect it.
right. But
So
before that, you'd have to do the.
we had to plug and play, I called it.
Yeah. I know these operators were amazing because if someone wanted to make a long distance call, they would take a card from up there in the top row and stick it in that slot, which is down there on the keyboard, on the table there.
Yep.
And they would have to start it when the call starts. When the call was disconnected, they'd push another level to type in there. And then, at the end of the shift, the supervisor would come along and collect all the cards and take it to the accounting office so that people could be billed. Isn't that
So
amazing?
simple in the good old days, wasn't it?
Right. Yep.
I had to pay a bill online today. And it was amazing. It's amazing where it would come
When they first
through.
started the cell phones, remember how you had to pay for your long distance calls?
Mhm.
And all the calls would be listed on your bill, and now they don't even
They don't, yeah.
bother to do that.
They don't even have long distance calls anymore.
No.
No pay.
Pretty much. Everything's through.
These insulator things are kind of interesting. I bet they have them on the flywheelers, that people exchange them. I mean, people collect them.
Yeah, they do.
Each company had their own color and design for it, because the wires could not rest against wood or metal and the calls wouldn't go through. They had to be wound around those insulators where those grooves are. So I never really appreciated that when I used to see telephone poles everywhere.
Yeah.
And then later on, I grew up in Maine, and I know that there were people who used them in target practice. And so they had to keep replacing
All
them.
right. I'm going to head this way.
Some moron had shot up the insulator.
It's just so cool how they have this all set up.
Thank you for the tour.
Well, you're very welcome. Have fun at Flywheelers.
We will, it was a good stop.
The Chamber of Commerce arranges for the volunteers to drive the tractors out there. So, yeah, I think
So we got to go down this way here.
they take a look around.
And that's our tour.
Sure, we will see them.
It was very nice to get a guided tour today. For most of it. Let's back up. Get this.
I'll tell you a funny story. This, actually, where they're going, the Flywheelers flea market thing.
Yeah.
That little statue, that's where it came from.
Oh, really?
One of our volunteers was out there at Flywheelers, and she saw that, and she said, "You need this for the baseball museum."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, go ahead, buy it." She said, "It's really heavy, but we won't be able to get it out of our car. The people here will help us get it in the car, but when we get to the museum, you'll have to help us."
Oh, goodness.
Well, they got here on a Sunday afternoon, and I was across the street with another lady. We were setting up chairs for an event we were going to have.
Yeah.
So it was just the three women trying to get this thing. So
Oh, my goodness.
I noticed these two guys over in the library parking lot playing around with a van, around the window in a van or something. So I went over and I introduced myself. I said I was from the museum, and I said, "I need some muscle." And the guy lady said, "Who do you want us to kill?" And I said, "Oh, no.
That's funny.
Not that kind of muscle." They were from Jacksonville.
Oh, really?
And so I have a feeling, I don't know what they did in Jacksonville, but I have a feeling that it probably wasn't always legal.
Legal, what they were doing.
But when I said,
Oh,
no,
that's
I
funny.
just need something heavy, move from a car. And they said, "Oh, we will help, we will help."
Awesome.
The uncle was Hispanic. The nephew had just been, he was 2 months in this country, and he only spoke French and Spanish.
Oh, no.
So well, now I have friends in Jacksonville.
You have friends and we don't know what kind of places. Oh, that's a good story.
And actually, this picture shows what the Cardinal Field looked, well, it's called Head Field now, but it was Cardinal
Yeah.
Field then. And what it looked like in the 20s, and it looks basically like that now.
Oh, really? It hasn't changed
It hasn't
much?
changed that much. Ours is one of the last fields that's left in Florida that hasn't been swallowed up by a sports complex or, changed. The lady who was doing our jewelry is no longer as involved in the museum, so someone else has taken this over.
Wow.
So she's in the process of rearranging things, and we've got more things to go in that other case, so we're kind of, as we put away our Christmas decorations,
Yeah.
we'll get other things organized here. I gotta call Julie and find out what happened.
This is just so cool. This is all stuff that you can buy.